My exams are coming soon, and I am preparing hard to finish high school. My name is Rachel. I am 17 years old, and I live in New York City. My family originally comes from Chicago, but we moved to New York for better opportunities. Every summer, my cousin Ryan would visit us to spend his vacation with our family. Ryan is 25 years old and working hard to become a doctor. He's almost done with his university degree. I don't remember Ryan well from my childhood, but when I saw him again, I was amazed by how much he had changed. I admired him immediately. He was intelligent, kind, and charming when talking with my father. While we were having dinner, my father said, "Ryan, do you remember my daughter, Rachel?" Ryan smiled and replied, "Of course, I remember her as a little girl. She's grown up now." My father added, "She's preparing for her final high school exams. Why don't you help her study? You've done well in your own studies, and I think she could learn a lot from you." Ryan answered, "Of course, I'll do my best to help her. I'll make sure she achieves great results." I was shy, but happy that Ryan would help me. Studying had always felt boring to me, but everything changed with Ryan. I began to enjoy it and looked forward to each session. He helped me understand everything, and soon, I was excelling in all my subjects. As we spent more time together, we talked and got to know each other. I began to love him. We made a promise. Once we finished our studies, we would get married. Ryan wanted to achieve his dream of becoming a doctor, and once that happened, he'd come to New York, and we would start our life together. I was overjoyed. The dream of marrying the love of my life felt close. Just as Ryan promised, I passed my exams with excellent grades. I thanked him, and he said, "No need to thank me. You are my future wife." When summer ended, Ryan returned to Chicago to finish his studies. We kept in touch, messaging, and planning our wedding. One day, I decided to surprise Ryan with a visit to his family's house. But when I arrived, I was shocked. His mother told me that Ryan was engaged to another girl she had chosen for him. He wouldn't marry me. I knew she didn't like me, but I never imagined she would go so far to keep us apart. I confronted Ryan and shouted, "How could you betray me after everything we promised?" He looked heartbroken and replied, "I'm sorry, Rachel. I couldn't stop this. Everything is already arranged, and the wedding will be this summer. I wish you happiness." Heartbroken, I returned to New York. My world had fallen apart, but I refused to let it destroy me. Though I still loved Ryan, I focused on my studies and graduated with excellent results. A few months later, a man asked to marry me. I hesitated at first, but I reminded myself of what had happened and decided to say yes. Years passed, and I had a beautiful daughter named Lily. My husband treated me well, and we had a normal life. But deep inside, I still couldn't stop thinking about Ryan. One tragic day, my husband died in a car accident. It was devastating, and I cried endlessly. Now, I was a widow, left alone with my little daughter. Life as a widow was hard. It felt lonely, raising Lily on my own. Meanwhile, Ryan's marriage didn't work out. He never loved his wife, and they often fought. Eventually, they divorced. After the divorce, Ryan achieved his dream of becoming a pediatrician. He moved to New York to start his career and pursue the future he had always dreamed of. Ryan tried to contact me to explain what had happened. He wanted me to know the truth, but I refused to speak with him. He reached out to one of my friends, who told me everything. Ryan's mother had hated me because my father had once married her sister instead of her. She told Ryan that if he married me, she would cut all ties with him. I confirmed this with my aunts. It was true, but I didn't want to reopen that painful chapter of my life. I focused on giving Lily the best life possible. But one day, Lily became very sick. Her condition worsened by the day. I took her to several doctors, but nothing helped, and I became desperate. That's when I remembered Ryan. I knew he was a talented doctor, and I trusted him. I took Lily to the hospital, where Ryan worked. He was happy to see us, and did everything he could to help her. Soon, Lily recovered. It felt like fate was bringing us back together. After Lily was discharged, Ryan proposed to me in front of everyone. It was such a romantic moment that I couldn't say no. This story is true. It reminds us that life follows its own path, no matter how hard others try to change it. When something is meant to happen, it will, no matter what obstacles stand in the way.